At student loans? First things first. What is going to happen with all of the folks who have their student loans on pause and were with like Mohila or, the other, a bunch of them, a bunch of the service providers that no longer exist? What is going to happen with them?
So if your life has changed drastically because of all these different changes in the student loan plan, in the student loan world, do not panic. So Mohila is still a loan servicer. They are actually servicing loans. They've just taken away their ability to actually service public service loan forgiveness, which I'm sure we'll get into in just a second. So like you say, kind of the misinformation, like they're fired. It's like, yeah, they're fired from this, but they're actually still people's loan servicer. There's other servicers that have been kind of moved around. So we're left with Aid Advantage, Mohila, Ed Financial, and I'm missing one, Nelnet. Those are the four servicers.
Still here.
They're still here. They had went through a little thing though as well where they stopped doing consolidation. So you couldn't consolidate your loans if you were with Nelnet. And you had to pick a different servicer. So there's always some other little hoop or little, nuance that you need to know about as it pertains to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there was another one that had, I think it was like Great Lakes or something. Are
Great Lakes is a once upon a time. They died. Fed Loans died. Navient, nope, gone. Sorry. Yeah, we've lost a lot. We are down to the final four.
This last 4 years has just been like, all right, clean it up.
But I have to applaud them because they have done some cleaning. They've simplified a lot of things. I wish they would simplify it to the point that I didn't have a job, but they just can't get that simple because really this should be something borrowers should go online and easily be able to do on their own, but it's just not the truth.
Yeah, it's super confusing because like you'll go onto, I've been on the portal. I had like Fed loans like once upon a time. It was really small, y'all, though. I did like a $2,000 loan for like tech. It wasn't real that serious. But I do remember attempting to go in to pay it off. And I'm like, I just want to pay y'all. And I can't figure out how to do it.
Like we don't want your money. We want the interest. So you just keep paying us monthly.
I'm good on that. I'm good. So tell us a little bit about, first of all, where can borrowers go or where should they be going in order for them to actually get the accurate information about who their service loan provider is and, how they can make the payments and things of that nature. Because I think that that's super important. We're all very confused about, do we go on this .com site, on this .gov site? Like, where is the site? So tell us where we're supposed to go.
Yeah, you should absolutely start with studentaid.gov. That is now the motherboard of everything. That is where you will find kind of your credit report, if you will, for student loans. Your history will be there, what payment plan you're on, who your servicer is. They said they're going to update that portal with even a payment tracker at some point. So there is one if you have public service loan forgiveness. They've always had a tracker. Well, not always, but for a long time, they've had a tracker for public service where, I'm 10 payments in of 120. But for the rest of the people that are going for forgiveness over a 20 or 25-year period, you're just like, I'm out here in these streets paying and I don't know where I am in the process. They're supposed to be putting a payment portal up there to tell you, okay, you're 200 payments of 240 or 200 payments of 300 payments, depending on what your particular situation is. So keep your eye out for that. But start there, studentaid.gov, and then you can go off to your different servicer. And the servicer is where you're going to pay your bill each month. They're really pretty much useless beyond that nowadays because studentaid.gov has taken over so much of the different parts of processing things.
So we're not going to mohila.com to make payments or see any of that. Everything would be studentaid.gov.
I'd say more like 80% of your information is going to be studentaid.gov. You can still log into Mohila. You can still make a payment at Mohila. They're still going to tell you to call Mohila if you have a question. But then Mohila's going to be like, click these buttons on studentaid.gov. And you're going to be like, wait, what? So I can't make it make sense. I told you.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So tell us a little bit about consolidation, because that is something that I talk to my clients a lot about, because my audience is really getting into a position to purchase homes. They're attempting to purchase rental properties. And a lot of the times they really believe that student loans are what's holding them back. And most of the time it's just the multiple payments. So are we restarting consolidation? Who do we go to for consolidation? Is that something that studentaid.gov does? Like, what do we do about that?
Okay, so the first thing is we need to talk about consolidating versus refinancing, because
Yes,
those
please.
are two different things related to student loans. So in the finance world in general, when we use the word consolidate, it's just like, oh, I got a new loan and that's it. It's not exactly like that when we're talking student loans. We need to kind of differentiate. So consolidation, when we're talking student loans, is taking all of your federal loans. So you have like 10, 15, maybe even 40, depending on what kind of education you got, loans on this file when you log into studentaid.gov. And you take them and you squish them down into just two loans. It'll say direct consolidated, direct unsubsidized consolidated, and direct subsidized consolidated loan. And so all those loans now are two loans, but they're still federal loans. So you still have the benefits of the federal system when you consolidate. Now, on the other hand, we have refinancing. Refinancing is taking your loans out of the federal system and putting them with a private lender. SoFi, Earnest, Common Bond, what's it called? Linktree, Linkkey, or somebody along those lines.
Somebody else.
Laurel Road, yeah, right.
Discover does student loans
Discover
as well, right?
is one, yeah. Generally, you're not going to refinance your loans with Discover. You probably got some undergrad debt with Discover, and they give you a really high interest rate because it's just, yeah, it's real with those Discover streets. But neither here nor there. We're not here to bash companies.
No. I like Discover.
Yes. We got to get a good interest rate. Yeah, make sure that you get a good interest rate if you're going to refinance. And so that's what happens. When you leave the federal system, you're leaving the benefits of the federal system. So there is no, I lost my job, I can't pay. There is no, I want, XYZ to happen. I want to be on an income-driven plan. Whatever it is that the benefits are that come with the federal system, they go away when you go private and you refinance the loans. Now, the benefit to refinancing the loans is getting a lower interest rate. The only option you're going to have, though, once you refinance is paying the loans back. So you borrowed $100,000, you're going to pay $100,000 plus whatever interest rate that private company gave you back. Whereas in the federal system, that same $100,000, you might get on an income-driven repayment plan. Maybe you pay $40,000 because your income is so low that they give you a payment that is, that you can afford. And over 20 or 25 years, you only pay $40,000, and then the rest is forgiven. So that's the big difference between consolidation and refinancing. Consolidation still allows you to do things within the federal system. Refinancing gives you one option. It's to pay your loans in full with that private company. No benefits related to the federal system anymore. There's no public service loan forgiveness. If you pass away, you also need to make sure you have some sort of life insurance or something to cover it, because they will try to collect that money from your estate if you refinance the loans. Federal loans, if you die, the loans die with you. Okay, go ahead, girl, go.
Because I need you to repeat it for them, because nobody believes me when I tell them the debt does not die. Nobody believes me, and I don't know why. Okay. Like, what do you mean it gets passed down? Yes, it doesn't dissipate into the ether. You still owe that money. You still took that money out. So I just want you to go, just say it one more time for them. What happens if you pass away and you don't have anything to cover those lumps?
Yes. So federal loans is the one, like you said, benefit. You pass away, the loans die with you, but they got to be federal. If you have private loans, so that was the Discover, the SoFis, the everybody else of the world that we were just talking about, a private company, then when you pass away, they are going to try to collect that money from your estate. So you got $100,000 sitting in a brokerage account. You didn't set up a trust. We're not going into estate planning today, but that money is unaccounted for. They're going to try to collect that from whatever it is that you have, and that is going to take away from what is going to be passed on to your family member. So you want to have your estate planning documents in place, but two, it would be ideal to get some insurance in place to cover that debt so that it's not diminishing what you wanted to pass down, because I know a lot of people on here are trying to create generational wealth.
Yes. And there are so many, and bless their heart, they're just very excited because they get all of these things in the mail. They're like, oh my gosh, Candace, you got my, credit into a perfect place. And now I'm getting all these, letters in the mail. And one of them said, I should just refinance my loan. Don't do that. Hold on. Wait a minute.
And then to your point, you said, a lot of your audience is homeowners, or people are getting ready to do some sort of investments in real estate. What they do is they're looking at your monthly debt to income ratio. Yes. So a lot of people get really worked up because they're like, I owe $100,000. Like when they see that, they're never going to let me get a house. And it's no, what are you paying on a monthly basis? And is that an
Yes.
affordable payment? So these income-driven plans that are inside of the federal system, maybe they give you $100 a month payment. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is a very affordable payment versus refinancing where I was paying $1,000 a month. Now I can actually get the house and I can do two things at once. I can continue paying on this debt responsibly, and I can have the home ownership and the investment property that I wanted.
See, y'all thought I'd be lying to y'all. And look at that confirmation. And what's the the number I always say? I always say 100. I always say that. I'm like, can you just get them to put something on there? Okay. But the least that they'll probably go for is the 100 a month. So, okay. So now let's get into the actual forgiveness, because there is so much propaganda out here about we're not getting forgiven. We just might as well just all march and, trample the White House and all kinds of crazy things. Right. So is forgiveness actually still in play? Like, is that actually still a thing? And I'm not talking about the Trump administration. I am talking about currently right now. Is forgiveness still a thing?
Forgiveness is still a thing. There is a big deal with the SAVE plan, which I'll talk about secondarily because we're talking about forgiveness, but that is the thing that has kind of blown everything up and put everybody into a tizzy. Forgiveness is still a thing, and there's two types of forgiveness. One is what we call taxable forgiveness, and the other one is public service loan forgiveness. Those are the two main types of forgiveness that people need to be thinking about. When I say taxable forgiveness, you're on one of these income-driven repayment plans. So that's ICR, IBR, PAYE, SAVE, SAVE. All of those are tied to your income. And after a period of time of 20 or 25 years, depending on your particular situation, the loans will be forgiven. The SAVE plan specifically is under fire and is probably going to die. We are 99% chance you're going to have to get off on SAVE. You're going to have to make a backup plan, which is what we're mostly helping people with right now as Student Loan Planner.
Yeah.
However, on the other side of that is the public service loan forgiveness, which is not, like you said, in jeopardy at this particular moment. It's not being burned to the ground. People are like, but I'm 9 years in. I'm 119 payments of 120.
Yes.
You can
Some people are like, I'm 15. Like, come on.
You're like, I'm so close. They are not about to pull the rug from underneath you. You are safe and sound. You might be stuck because you're on the SAVE plan, in which case you need to get off of it and get on a different income-driven plan, because there's 4 requirements with public service loan forgiveness. The first one is that you work at a nonprofit or a government agency. The second is that you make 120 payments, which we just talked about. This equivalent of 10 years, but it's 120 total. So once you've hit that, then you can get your forgiveness. You need to be a W-2 employee, and then you need to be on one of these income-driven repayment plans. SAVE is one of those, but you can get off of SAVE and get onto a different one that I mentioned, IBR, ICR, PAY, and continue to pursue public service loan forgiveness.
Okay. Because I know that there was like a mad dash, right, to get from the other, the income, the repayee, the payee, all of that to get onto the SAVE. So now you're saying like we got to go in reverse now. We got to go back to the other models. Okay. If you guys have any questions, because I do see what's up Instagram, y'all turning up over here. Drop your questions in the chat. Hey, Shanice, that's one of my new clients. She does have a couple of questions, so I will definitely stop to ask her questions. But Instagram fam, Facebook fam, YouTube fam, we are live with Lauren from Student Loan Planner. So if you have any questions about your student loan, nothing that is specific, general questions, please. This is not consultations. Okay. Drop them in the chat. And although I can't see them in the StreamYard Instagram, I can't see you guys' comments in StreamYard, but I can see you on Instagram because I have it on the double screen. Okay. So you guys can drop your questions, although I know y'all see it in a different format on Instagram. I can still see you guys. So drop your questions. Okay. So I'm going to pause on my questions and ask my client question. So Shanice is asking, how can she find out when PSLF is active?
So if you meet the 4 requirements that I talked about, the job, making 120 payments on an income-driven plan, and then also a W-2 employee, you can go into studentaid.gov, where we were talking about at the very beginning. He said the motherboard now of where you go and look for things and sign up actually for public service loan forgiveness. So it's a program that you need to sign up for just simply meeting the criteria is not enough. It doesn't matter. Okay, so if you've been working for a few years and you never signed up, don't panic. You're not going to miss out on those years. You just sign up, and your employer will sign off saying you've been working here since 3 years ago. Shanice started 3 years ago and is still presently working here. And then every 12 months, you should fill out that form again so that they can keep counting your payments so that you can watch that tracker go up. Because they don't know if tomorrow you got fired. So they're not going to count next month's payment until you tell them, hey, I was still working here at that time. So we usually recommend once a year going in, but it's a PSLF help tool inside of studentaid.gov where you will know if you're signed up for public service loan forgiveness.
That's actually dope because I didn't know that they did retroactive.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a lot. A lot of people don't know that because I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so October 1st of 2007 is when the program officially started. So if you worked at a nonprofit or government agency since then, now there is a catch. You can't say if you went to school in 2020 and just got a degree, you can't be like, I was working in 2007 at the Boys and Girls Club.
I was here.
Like, they don't care about what you were doing before you got these loans. It's going to be 10 years after the loans to get the credit. They
were like, look, pre-approve me. Okay. Okay. So Shanice is also asking, how can I find out if my PSLF application is still in the process? Because some people did apply and then there was a pause. So how do they know if it's still active, if they're still good inside of there?
Absolutely. That is also going to be in studentaid.gov. And it's probably hard because, like I said, they never make a big, hey, we did this and we've updated it. Let me show you how it works. Weird. It was like you were over here at Mohila and then they were like, okay, this is done. And now it's over here at studentaid.gov, but you don't even know to look there. So if you log in, Shanice, you'll see at studentaid.gov, there's a PSLF, like I said, area, and you'll be able to see the number of payments that you have, and you'll be able to see any applications that you have in process.
Oh, she said, please disregard my first question. It does make sense. It did make sense. She was like, let me make the question more accurate. No, we got what you were asking. And don't worry, Shanice, I have done that for several clients already. So you guys don't have to worry about that. My actual direct clients, everyone else, please go talk to student loan planner because I don't do that. You will be going to Lauren or somebody else. But you will be doing a consultation. I will drop the link definitely inside of the description. And I will also be dropping the link at the end. For Instagram, you guys will probably have to go into my highlights and I'll drop it in there and also on my link in bio so that you guys can connect with Lauren and get that direct consultation because I only do it for my clients. Okay, so
like, I love y'all, but
I'm not a student loan planner. I am a real estate financial consultant. It just so happens that a lot of my clients have student loans, so I assist them in the process. But that's not what I do. That's not my ministry. Okay.
Don't worry. That is my ministry and I'm happy to help. So
go ahead and talk to Lauren. That's what she's here for. Okay. So we got PSLF down pat. Now, explain exactly like what is going to happen with the SAVE program and like how we should make that course correction for everyone who is in it. Does that mean that because they moved over to the SAVE program, they're no longer in anything else, and so they have to start the process over again? What exactly does that look like?
Yeah, so the first thing I'll say is that it's really unfortunate that, there's 44 million student loan borrowers, and I think about 8 million are on the SAVE plan, so they're tied up in this limbo. And this is all a political matter. And it's just been really hard for me to watch as a consultant whose like job it is to help people.
Yeah.
And to like be like, all of our hands are tied. Like, and it's all because like one side is fighting against the other. Like my whole thing is like, we're the United States of America. So regardless of who you voted for, like we need to be doing what's best for every American. And this is just not good for people. Like I said, I have a client that is 119 payments into PSLF, hates her job. And if that one payment was done, she'd be quitting her job and moving on. So now she's trapped. She's been on the SAVE, limbo for the last, 4 months now, not able to quit her job because she's waiting to get one payment counted so that she can get off of PSLF. So I went on a little bit of a tangent, but I just wanted to tell everybody who's stuck on SAVE, I feel you. I really do feel you. Yeah. You shouldn't be here. So what's actually happening is that there was an injunction placed on this plan because it was put into place pretty aggressively and not following the proper channels. So while it's an awesome plan that was meant to help a lot of people, the right steps were not taken to implement this plan. And so the other party came and said, "Hey, no, we call BS on this. You can't implement a plan in this regard." And so now we're waiting on a ruling for them to throw it out. And it's just been dragging along. One, because the election was getting ready to happen, so everybody wanted to punt and not make a decision at all.
Right.
Now we've had an election and we're waiting for the administration to change. And so what's most likely going to happen is as soon as the administration changes in January, we'll start to see some movement and we'll see the SAVE plan knocked completely down because, like I said, that administration was the one that didn't like it in the first place. And like I said, there is not a legal bearing to be able to keep the plan in place. So SAVE is going away, was your question. And what should you do instead? You should get on a different income-driven plan. So if you stay on SAVE right now while it's in limbo, you're not accruing any interest, so that's good. But you're also not accruing any time toward your 20 or 25 years on an income-driven plan. And as I also mentioned, your 120 payments if you're going to a public service. So you're like, oh, okay, well, let me get online right now and change. Well, to add craziness to this all, they're not even processing applications for other income-driven plans. You can sign up online on that studentaid.gov that I was just telling you about for income-based repayment as an example, but they're not actually processing it. So what did you do? You moved from one forbearance, sitting and doing nothing, to another one. But maybe now you're at least in line for them to process your application when they finally do start processing applications.
Gotcha.
That's the long story short, girl.
So we still, even if we get over into one of those other plans, we're still kind of on a freeze.
Yes.
Yikes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And there's three other plans. There's three plans. So there's IBR, income-based repayment, ICR, income contingent, and PAYE. Well, they also said as part of SAVE, they were going to kick pay-as-you-earn, PAYE, and ICR to the curb as of June 30th. So they were like, nope, no more of these plans. If you're on it, you're grandfathered in. But if you're not on it, you can't get on it, which was really hard because depending on what your particular situation is, you might have needed one of those plans. They're all different for a reason. Mm-hmm. Well, they now said as of mid-December, they're going to bring those two plans back. So this is yet another reason to really be tuned in. Like, don't make a move just yet, because if you're eligible for pay, you might not want to choose IBR. You might want to choose that.
Right.
But we got to wait for them to cut it back on and also for them to start processing applications. So you can see it's just a cluster.
This is a hot mess. I just, I can't understand how the government can't figure this out. Like you guys came and you sued people, you threw companies out. Okay, so they were doing bad. They weren't doing what they were supposed to do, but you had no plan B.
Exactly.
You just got us all out here lost. Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. We're gonna get out of here. Thank you so much, Lauren, for pulling up and helping us out here at the Income Care Unit. We appreciate you so much. And we can't wait to continue this collaboration and send you guys some amazing clients on over and get them really into a much more financially healthy space.
Absolutely. I love the work that you're doing. Happy holidays to everyone. Thanks for having me on. Don't hesitate to reach out if you need me to come back again, because this is an ever-changing landscape. So,
Yeah, listen, we will have you back, okay, when things start shaking with the new president, okay? For sure. I know that they'll have tons of questions, and we'll probably have lots of people hopping on in like, help, save me. Okay, right. So we'll definitely have you back. Thank you so much. And you guys go ahead and DM me the word student, and I promise I will give you replays. I will also give you consultation links, all the cool things. All right. Love you guys. And I will see you in January because we're done for the month. Oh, okay. Bye. Thank you so much for joining our student loan update with our student loan planner, Lauren. And thank you, Lauren, for putting our hearts and minds at ease, because that was not easy. If you're unsure of what to do about your student loans, please click the link in the description and you'll be able to book a consultation with Lauren for $100 off. If you found this live helpful, please tell everyone in the comments. We'll be doing so many more of these in 2025, so stay tuned and I'll see you in the ICU.
We gon' get your money right, we gon' need your mind. Bills and things, hopes and dreams. one step at a time. It's the queen